Hello friends, subscribers and new viewers of this channel, and welcome to FreeCAD tutorials. In this tutorial we explain how to start with 3D modeling in FreeCAD. We will teach you how to model an object shown over here. For example, this can be a handle that has 4 mounting holes, 1, 2, 3 and 4. This example will teach you almost 90% of operations that you need to know when you model 3D objects. The motivation for creating this tutorial comes from the fact that the FreeCAD is completely free and open source program for 3D design. It can also perform finite element analysis and many other things. Several years ago, I switched to this program for my robotics 3D designs. The most important thing is that it is free. It might not be as optimized as AutoCAD, SolidWorks, Inventors, and similar commercial programs. However, it has everything you need to do basic, intermediate, and even advanced 3D modeling. In fact, one can argue that a person who is experienced in FreeCAD can do most of the things that an engineer working in AutoCAD and SolidWorks can do. Okay, let's start. The first step is to go to the official FreeCAD website. You can either Google FreeCAD or you can immediately go to this web page. Then you need to click on download, and over here you need to select your operating system. In my case, it's Windows 64-bit. So click here and the download process will start. Save the file, and then just once the download process completes, simply open the file and just go through the installation process. You just need to click next, next, next. License is free, that is, you don't need to pay anything for the license, and that's it. Once you open FreeCAD, you will see this window. Our next goal is to create our document. There are several ways to do that. The first way is simply to click here, that is, click on Create New, and the second option to click on File and New. And that's it. Let's start creating our object. But before we do that, let's go back and let's look into our 3D design. Here's my 3D object once again. Over here I will click on Top and I will explain briefly how I created this object. I created this object by starting from a two-dimensional sketch. That is, I first defined a rectangle of the base, then I defined circles. Then what I did, I extruded the base. Then I used these circles to create the holes. Then I applied fillets to make this surface smooth. Then after that, I created a handle by, again, creating a rectangle in the two-dimensional plane, then extruding, then I created this chamfer over here, then I created this hole over here, and then finally I applied fillets to all the edges, and that's it. Before we start with 3D modeling, we first need to explain how to navigate the view. That is, we need to explain how to zoom, how to pan, and how to rotate the view. For that purpose, we will create a simple 3D object. It will be a simple cube. To create the simple cube, click here, then click on Part Design. And before we create the cube, pay attention to this small icon over here. It's written CAD. If you click here, you will see several options: Blender, CAD, Maya, Open Cascade, etc. We're going to select CAD, or just keep the default option. This means that we will use the CAD convention for zoom, pan, and rotate. Okay, let's create a cube. To create a cube, click here and click on Additive Box and click on OK. And here's the cube. To zoom, you need to roll the middle mouse button. To zoom in, roll forward. To zoom out, roll backward. This is how you do it. To pan the view, press and hold the middle mouse button and move the mouse button left, right, up, or down. Then, to rotate the view, press and hold the middle mouse button and the right mouse button, and you will be able to rotate the view. Here, we were manually rotating the view. However, notice this cube over here. You can simply use this cube and the arrows to rotate the view. For example, if you press this arrow, you can rotate. If you click here, you will have an isometric view. Then if you want to have the right view, you need to click here. Then again, you can do several things here. You can rotate, you can do all sorts of things. So spend some time to explore this option and to learn how to properly navigate the view. You can also have perspective view if you like it. So all sorts of view. You have orthographic view like this, then you have isometric view, etc. We are not going to use this 3D model. We will start from scratch again. So consequently go File, New, and let's start from scratch. If you click here on Model, this unnamed without any number is the cube. However, we are working currently over here, unnamed 1. Okay, the first step is to create our 3D sketch. To do that, we need to create several things. So again, make sure that you're in the Part Designs, and then over here, create Body. After creating Body, we can create our sketch. To create the sketch, simply click here, and you need to select the plane. Let's select this plane. Now, if you click Close, you'll be back. You'll be back and you will be inside of the body, and this is very important. Your sketch has to be inside of the body. Good. Let's start. Double click again on the sketch to return to the sketch, and let's create our rectangle. To create a rectangle, click here. You'll see this drop-down menu and click on Centered Rectangle. Here we will create a rectangle by first specifying the center. Specify the center at the origin, and then you will see how the rectangle is nicely being defined. Just select arbitrary width and height, and later on we will adjust it. So click here, and here it is. Here's our rectangle. Next, we explain how to precisely define the length and the width of our rectangle. Currently, we're in the rectangle mode, so press Escape to exit. Then, select this edge, then click here, that is, click on Constrain Vertical Distance, and over here enter the length of this side or of this edge. For example, let's go with 140 millimeters, and then zoom out to see the scaled rectangle, and let's define the width. Consequently, click here, that is, click on this edge, and then click here, that is, click on Constrain Horizontal Distance, and over here let's select 300, and here it is. Now you can see that the height is 140 and the width is 300. Good. Our next goal is to extrude this base. For that purpose, you need to click here to close, and you will be back in this 3D view. Click over here to deselect everything, then click here on Sketch again, and our next operation will be extrusion. There are several ways to extrude an object or a 2D sketch. The first approach is to simply click here, and you will see the extrusion menu. Over here you need to specify the height or the length of the extrusion. So let's go with, for example, 25. And you need to click OK. If you cannot find this icon over here, you can simply click on Part Design, and over here you have several options. If you click on Create on Additive Feature, you can click on Pad and you will be able to extrude. Simple as that. Good. Here's our 3D object. Let's see, let's rotate it. Looks good. The next step is to define circles that are used to define holes. The idea is to define circles in this top plane. Let's learn how to do that. Select the top plane and then click Sketch. This operation will create a sketch on this top plane. Over here we need to define 4 circles. Let's start with the first one. Click over here, then click somewhere over here and drag the mouse button and let's select, for example, 17.8 or 18. It doesn't matter. Later on we will precisely define the diameter and the radius. Okay, so here's our circle. Now exit the circle mode by pressing Escape. First thing we need to do is to make sure that this point is equally distant from this edge and from this edge. For that purpose, we need to define a constraint. To do that, first of all, click here such that we can select objects, lines, vertices, or planes of external geometry and then zoom over here and select this vertex. Here it is. And you will see it red over here. Now press Exit or press Escape to be more precise. And if you scroll down this menu, you will see this 2 point. Good, good, good. The next step is to define the horizontal constraint. That is, we want to say that the horizontal distance from this point to this point is equal to some prescribed value. To do that, first of all, click here, outside, then select the first point, select the second point, and then simply click over here, constrain horizontal distance. And over here, let's enter the value, for example, 22. Now, let's do the same thing for the vertical distance. Click somewhere here, then again, click this point defining the center, and then click Constrain Vertical Distance, and let's specify 22. And we have achieved what we wanted. Now the center of our circle is 22 millimeters from this edge and 22 millimeters from this edge. Good. Next, we want to define a circle over here, the circle over here, and the circle over here. The easiest approach to do that is to simply mirror this circle, and we need to perform mirror operation twice. First time we will mirror with respect to this axis, and then we will mirror both circles with respect to the horizontal axis. To mirror an object, we first need to define a construction line. There are several ways to define a construction line. However, I will just simply sketch a line. Start here and draw a line on this axis. Here it is. Now, what we need to do is to mirror. Currently, we are in the line mode. Press Escape to exit the line mode. Then select the circle. Then select this line. And over here, click on this symmetry constraint. Click here and voila, here it is. Now let's erase this line since we don't need it anymore. And let's repeat this operation. Now we will mirror with respect to this horizontal axis. Again, click here, define a line, exit the line mode by pressing Escape. Then over here you need to select the first circle, the second circle, and this line. And then again you need to press this part, and here it is. Beautiful. Now we can erase this construction line, and here they are. Perfect. Now we are ready to define holes. Scroll up and click on Close to exit the 2D sketch. And we are back in the 3D view. Over here you can see the circles. Next, let's learn how to create holes. This is super easy. Now, click somewhere over here, then select this circle over here, and over here you will find this option, hole. Simply click here, and here's the hole. Here, the issue is that you need to specify the diameter. We don't care about precise diameters. For example, let's select 15. This might be too small. Let's press Ctrl Z. Let's repeat this. Click here. Then again, here to create holes. And let's select, for example, let's see, what do we want? Like 20? Is 20 too much? Let's see. Maybe a little bit more. Let's go with 25. Okay, 25 is good. Press enter and voila, here are the holes. Next, let's start creating our handle. To do that, again, let's go to the sketch. We can either define a new sketch or we can go back to our original sketch. Let's create a new sketch. Again, click here, then click on sketch. And over here, we need to create another rectangle. To create a rectangle, let's first construct construction lines. Click here and select this edge over here and this edge over here. Now, if you go down, you will see these two lines. These two lines actually do not exactly belong to our sketch, they belong to the object. Okay, now press escape. Next, we are ready to create our rectangle. First of all, click here and click on centered rectangle. Click over here, that is at the origin, to create the rectangle, and simply move the rectangle to these construction lines. And here it is. This will make sure that this side of the rectangle completely snaps to this line, that is to this edge. Next, press escape to exit, and here it is. Now, the issue over here with this rectangle is that we didn't precisely control its height. So let's do that. To control the height, that is to specify the height of the rectangle, simply click on this line and again click on this constraint vertical distance, and over here let's specify the length, for example, to be 40. Let's see what happens, and here it is. Perfect. Looks very good. And we are done. Now we can close to exit and we can see our rectangle. The next step, of course, is to extrude this rectangle. Simply click on this sketch, click on pad, and over here let's extrude for the value we want. Let's go with, for example, I don't know, what about 60? No, we need more. So click on the pad again. And let's go with, for example, 100. Is 100 good? Not bad. Not bad at all. Okay. Let's start now with different operations. First of all, we need to create several fillets and we need to create a chamfer. Let's first create the chamfer. To create the chamfer, we need to select this edge over here. And over here you need to find chamfer. Here it is. And let's specify the size of the chamfer. Let's increase this and let's do this, for example. We can do even more. I think this is enough, right? And click OK. And here's our chamfer. Looks nice, right? Next, let's create fillets. This is how I like to create fillets. First of all, click over here on fillet, and then let's click on the edges. Click on this edge, click on this edge over here, then let's rotate, let's click on this edge, and let's click on this edge. And over here, let's specify the radius for the fillet. Let's go with 2 millimeters, and let's click OK. And here they are. They look much nicer right now. Good. Next, let's make a fillet such that we have a smooth transition from the base to our handle. Again, click here and select this edge over here. Be careful. And then rotate and do the same thing over here. Create this edge over here. And let's specify the radius such that we have a nice and smooth transition. For example, let's do this. 10 millimeters. And let's click OK. OK, now it looks much nicer. Next, let's create fillets on our handle such that the person who holds the handle doesn't hurt himself or herself. So let's select, for example, this edge, this edge, this edge, and let's, for example, use the maximum possible fillet. I think around 30 will be fine. Okay, and let's do a little bit more. 35 if we can do. Okay, good. Here it is. Looks much nicer. Then let's create fillets for these edges. Again, click on fillet and let's click here, click here, click here, click here. Let's click here and here. Oops, I selected the face, so I will delete here. Let's make sure that we select this edge. And let's do the same thing on the other side. Here, 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 and here. And let's specify the radius. Let's go with, for example, 4 millimeters. And let's press OK. OK, looks much nicer right now. The next step is to create an opening such that the person can hold this object. To do that, we need to select this face, then click over here to create a sketch in this plane or on that face, and over here we need to define a rectangle. So again, let's click here. Let's click on centered rectangle. Let's say that the center should be somewhere here, and let's define our rectangle. Somehow like this. Here it is. Perfect. Now press Escape to exit the rectangle mode, and let me show you a few tricks over here. Now, I want this edge of the rectangle or this side to be parallel with this surface over here. Let's learn how to do that. First of all, click here and let me zoom in to show you. You need to click on this small line over here. Let me again show you. Here it is, and delete. Now you erase the constraint and you can independently move this point from the point over here. And let's move it somewhere here. Now this line is still not parallel with this line over here. First of all, we need to create this line over here. How to do that? Well, click here and simply select this line. Now this line of our external object is inside of our sketch, and press Escape. And here's the magic. Now what I will do, I will introduce a constraint such that this edge is parallel to this line over here. How to do that? Well, super easy. Select this side and this edge and simply find this option. Constraint parallel. Bang! Here it is. Now they're parallel. Simple as that. Nothing special. And then let's close to exit, and here's our opening. Let's see this opening once again. Maybe we can fix it a little bit. Go back to the sketch, select this edge, and let's move it a little bit. And let's do another thing, or not. Let's leave it as it is. Click on Close. Okay. Next, we need to create an opening. How to do that? Well, next to this hole option, you have another option called Pocket. So click here. Now you can see that the pocket will be created, and over here you can maximize the length of this pocket such that the opening is created. So do it until you see that it's completely open. Here it is. That's it. Click on OK, and here it is. And as the final step, we need to introduce fillets over here, so let's do it. Click here again to create fillets, and let's select the edges. Select this edge, then let's select the edge over here, then let's rotate a little bit. Let's select this edge over here, then let's rotate a little bit, and let's select this edge over here. And over here, let's increase the radius such that we have a nice fillets. Let me now do something like this such that I can see it. And let's do this. And let's click OK, and voila, here it is. This is our final design. Now we can click here to look from different sides, and here it is. Looks nice. This is really a handle. Can be a window handle, for example. Okay, that's all for today. I hope that you like this video. If you like the videos I'm creating, please press the like and subscribe buttons. And see you in the next video tutorial.